Hey, all this driver. So I'm back in the saddle over here at ATS. So we got us a new load here going out to Montana, cruising out to Butte, Montana. Got this beautiful little sprayer here, obviously not branded, and we're still out here in Wentachee, Washington State. I keep wanting to say Wisconsin, dadgummit. So I've restarted this recording a couple times, guys. I bought a new controller, and for some reason it completely remapped all my settings on here. Good thing is I've caught most of them while trying to start the video, and also while getting over here to hook up this trailer. Actually, this is the exact same place we delivered at, but I went up the road to discover the recruitment agency and then drove back. So we probably have to get some fuel too along the way. Now that I think about that, but we'll make do with what we got. It's only a 480-mile drive, so I'm not too concerned about fuel. We're still over half a tank, so I think we'll be fine. Let's fire this motor up. And running my high beams there, you probably can't see my high beam indicator turning on and off, but they remapped that button also to hook and unhook the trailer, and we don't need that while cruising down the highway. So, yeah, we're going to cruise along. We're going to talk about a little bit of stuff with the game itself today, I think. We'll kind of just go from there. There's going to be some new updates coming out with the game. The new map is releasing. I think it was announced yesterday that we were getting, I think it's Arkansas, here middle of the month. I believe it was the 16th or 19th. I don't remember. But no cars that way. I'm looking. So there's going to be some new updates and stuff like that, which is going to do some game changes for us. I haven't heard of any new features coming out. I heard that there's going to be some revamp of features. The stuff they released in Nebraska, where you could actually physically see a hopper bottom loading and unloading, that's supposed to be expanded. That feature is also supposed to be expanded through the chip vans as well. What are you doing, dude? No turn signal? Turn, go. Let me get turned here, folks. Let's see. Let's get that way. Go on. So that feature is also going to be expanded into the chip vans. I have no clue if that's actually going to be released this time or down the road, but with all the changes coming out, mods are going to break. This truck is a mod, so I may have to go back to my Kenworth. There's been talk with the group about we may do away with a lot of these truck mods just because trying to get other people to cruise with us and things like that. It just makes it a lot easier when we don't have a bunch of mods that people have to go find and source. Mods are just a pain in the butt on here some days. It's the reason why I really wasn't messing with them for a long time. So if I am able to keep the truck, I'm thinking about doing some stuff to the truck. I'm thinking about repainting it. Thinking about going with something other than the black. I like the black. It's sleek and looks good, but I'm just thinking about doing something different. So, yeah, we got Arkansas coming out. Like I said, either the 16th or 19th of September. I can't really remember. I remember seeing it, but I've already forgotten. I've had some pretty crazy nights here lately. My schedule's been all thrown off. So, it ain't been no wild fun nights, I can tell you that. It's just, been trying to get my sleep schedule flipped around. My mom had to fly out of town. For those that don't know, I moved back in with my mom to help her out. She took care of us when we were kids. It's time to take care of Mama now that she's getting up there. So I'm here hanging out with her, and she wanted to go see her brother, and that's a 12-hour drive, and she ain't doing the drive by herself. So I helped her get a flight, and took her to the airport, and she got flown off. So I had to get my schedule all turned around to do that for her. So yeah. So yeah, I hope everybody's been doing pretty good. I've just been busy with doing that kind of stuff. I will also be going out of town here next month. I'll let you guys know when it gets a little closer to date. I'll try to pre-record up a bunch of stuff for YouTube, but we'll just kind of see how that goes. Yeah. Apologize for that. Come on, light. We want to roll, don't we? Just waiting on light to change, I guess. No clue why we're just sitting here. There we go. See anybody in the mirror? So yeah, sorry guys, I'm trying to think of things to get going here with. Don't really have any stories out here. I was thinking about that a minute ago too. Washington State, we've kind of talked about that. Most of my knowledge in Washington State's when I was doing hotshot work, doing the RV transport stuff. And then we're just running over to Montana, and we pretty much have talked about that as well. And I know my steering and stuff is a little bit all over the board right now. This controller is way different than the old controller. If the old controller was going out and I did break it by accident, kind of by accident, I got mad, but I slung the controller, but it bounced back and hit the chair instead, so it broke the controller. But that was partially my fault too, right? But I've noticed that in that controller that it was doing a lot of weird stuff. If anybody has seen, there's been a couple of live streams where I was playing GTA with some friends, and I've noticed that on there that the controller wasn't working right. So, and so I'd ordered a new controller right before I broke the old one, and now that I've got this new controller, it's like night and day, guys. I don't know why, but it's like night and day. The buttons actually work better. The I'm using the left joy for steering here, and it works way better. So it's way more sensitive. I think I'm actually going to have to go turn the sensitivity back down. I might have to do this mid ride because this is really sensitive now. So I think it was the old controller was a lot of my problems. Yeah, there might not be a whole lot of commentary this time, guys. We're just going to kind of cruise and ride along here. Looking like we're going to get to where we're going at about 3 in the afternoon, so looks like a good daytime ride, all sunshiny for the looks of it. Maybe one of the updates they'll get this traffic working a little bit better. I know it's never going to be perfect, but you know, speaking of slows down to 40, and I get slowing down to 40, but slowing down to 25 or 30 for the 40 zone is a little much. Like this guy here, I think is going to make a complete stop almost for this turn. It is what it is, I suppose. I know I shouldn't, but I'm gonna try to pass this guy. course, I can't see now. Yeah, this controller's way since I'm barely touching the stick, guys. So I'm probably gonna have to turn this down a little bit. Go on. Hopefully I don't miss somebody head on right here. Oh, good lord, yeah, this thing is stupid sensitive now. I'll be honest, I'll actually be a little bit embarrassed about putting this video out just because of how sloppy my driving is. But wow, is this controller a world of difference. I didn't realize it that much when I was playing GTA the other night. Um, I noticed a difference on the game, but I didn't realize it was this big of a difference. Oh, holy. We got a way station up ahead. Not that we ever stop at those, but you know, there's one up here. Nah, I'm sorry. We're not pulling in for an inspection. No, it's a trap, guys. I tell you, it's a trap. Don't ever do it. No, I'm kidding. Think about it, big truck. Just either. Yeah, this is really sensitive. The odd part is that there's a lot of sensitivity in the steering, but not as much in the gas and brake, which probably sounds odd to you guys, but it's actually kind of true. What are you doing? You turning for a cornfield? What's going on, man? Holy. All right, guys. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna park this thing right here on the shoulder for a minute. I'm gonna pause my video, guys, and I'm gonna come back with you here in just a minute. See if I can adjust this stuff real quick. So I'll be right back, guys. All right, guys. So we're back to rolling again. I went ahead and cruised up the road just a little bit. We've only probably put in maybe 15 miles. So I made some tweaks. At least the steering sensitivity is way better than it was. Probably still not gonna be perfect. Still gonna probably have some jerky times like that there, but it's way better. So hopefully I won't have to make any more cuts in this video. One reason I had the steering sensitivity also turned up was that when I would go to make a turn, something I feel would be a normal speed for a turn, um, I'd almost have to come to a complete stop just to finish that turn. So that it kind of explains how I had this stuff set up originally. So, but hopefully this will be a little bit smoother than what it was before, guys. And I really apologize for it. I'm a little embarrassed about it, but this is the kind of stuff you go through when you get a new controller or anything. And I'm gonna be going through this again whenever I do get my wheel and pedals hooked up. Uh, Currently not using those right now because I don't have the room to set it up at the moment. So that's kind of in the works, but I haven't quite fully figured out how I'm doing that one yet. So, but as you can see, this is way smoother than it was before. So now I just got to get used to this sensitivity, so which is going to be fun. So you might want to buckle in, put your belt on. If you feel the need, put your helmet on. Really feel the need, I'll give you some crayons. If you need something to eat. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, so we're cruising again. Still really can't think of any stories out here, man. Guys, because it's just I didn't do a whole lot out this way. I mean, I did there for a couple years, but there was never anything crazy that went on. That's one thing I enjoyed about running the West Coast. And anybody else that's driven a truck for a living or just driven for a living, period, if they drove out east, it was always something going on. People cutting you off and people being stupid. When you was out west, man, it was nice. You just cruised. There was nothing ever really happening. It was always light traffic. People didn't really mess with you a whole lot. The only time you really ran into problems was when you drove in the cities. When you went through, towns like Albuquerque and Phoenix, stuff like that, where the traffic gets kind of crazy out west. Well, California, but that's its own country on its own, anyways. Um, so yeah, there's just really not a whole lot happened out here. The things that really happened to me out here was more due to stupid registration tickets and the permitting things. Um, I mean, I never did anything oversized out west, but we still had the permitting thing when I did the hot shot. Um, so and I know I talked about the process of going through and getting your commercial license, at least here in the states where I'm from. And every state, like I said, varies, and I can't think of anything else to actually touch on that. Um, One thing I will mention on that, though, that there is a little bit more to it. So you have to go through a medical physical. Um, Typically, it's every other year. So every 2 years, you got to renew it. If you have health concerns, diabetes, heart problems, things like that, they may have you do it every year or every 6 months. I mean, it just kind of varies depending upon what your status is. But for the rest of us, that's not experiencing major medical issues, they don't have to. They just do it every 2 years. Ooh, easy, easy. So I gotta get reused to this controller again. So there's only that. And if you fail to renew your physical, you pretty much lose your CDL. It could become suspended until you provide that you took in your physical. And it's just a matter of submitting the form to the state you're from and things like that. For me, I live in the state of Florida, and a lot of states are this way. They do it electronically now, and we're in Montana. And so the way they do it is you go down, you go down to your physician or whoever you do your medical physical through, and you get that all done, and they submit your paperwork to you. And then for me, the state of Florida, you go on their website, and what you do is it's actually easier if you do this on your phone, sadly. But if all you got to do is come on, truck, let's go. Oh, he's going to the way station. Okay, have fun, man. Let's get rolling here again. So, sorry about that, guys. So, anyways, for the state of Florida, it's pretty simple. All you got to do is from your cell phone, You can do it all from your cell phone. And before you go onto their website, you just take your phone and take some screenshots. They want all the pages. There's usually 4 to 6 pages for your long form and then one for your short form. Short form's almost like a card in a way. It's a little bit bigger than a card, obviously, like a debit card or something like that. And then you get on the website and you just go through. There's not really a login process. You're more or less just entering your license number, your date of birth, and I can't remember what all you enter in there. And then you just go to the CDL section and go to put in that you need to put your new physical in there, and you can electronically submit it that way. You just upload the images from your phone, and it's pretty much a done deal. You'll get an email response from them, so I can't remember if you put your email address in there or if they already have it on file, but regardless, they'll email you and tell you whether or not that they accepted it or not. If they did not accept it, then you will have to go down, more than likely, to the local driver's license office and then submit it to them, and they'll get it all squared away. They will make sure it's approved if you do it that way. So yeah, there's that for truck drivers here in the States. I'm not sure about Canada. I know Canada follows a lot of similar rules to us, but their rule set is also different on a lot of things. One fine example would be hours of service. Their hours of service rules are different than ours. And honestly, I can't speak of their rules. And I just know of some of it, but I don't know the particulars. I know that here in the States, truck drivers can drive up to 11 hours a day. They can be on duty 14 hours a day. They can actually exceed the 14 hours a day. So it gets a little gray or complicated, actually. So your 14-hour clock starts from the time you do your first pre-trip in the morning, or the start of your day, more or less. So you get up, you do your pre-trip, that starts your 14-hour clock, and you have 11 hours to drive. So some people might get confused of why you need a 14-hour window to drive 11 hours. Well, if you get up and say you have to drive 30 miles up the road, so let's say it takes you 30 minutes or so to get up the street, and then you go deliver or pick up a load, you might be at that location for a few hours. And then you may take off from there and drive, say 6 hours, and then you might deliver, and then you might be there a couple more hours. So you see where the 14-hour window comes in. So the 14-hour window is basically the beginning and ending of your day as far as everything you can do. And then the 11 hours is just the number of hours you can drive inside that 14 hours. Now, the only way that you can ever go outside that 14-hour window of being on duty is being on duty. On duty is if you're loading or unloading, and that's if you're physically doing the work. If you're at a shipper receiver, and I'll use Walmart for an example. If you are at their location and you're backed into their door, you go driving there, and then you go on duty for approximately 15 minutes, however long it takes to check in, typically about 15 minutes, sometimes not even that long. And then you go off duty or to your sleeper, depending upon if they let you stay in your truck, you can crawl in a sleeper and take a nap. Sometimes they won't let you stay in their truck, so at that point you're off duty. So you're still there waiting on your load, but you're not physically doing anything, and you're kind of off the clock in a sense. So it's one of those weird little loopholes. And then when they get done unloading you or loading you, whichever they're doing, then you would go back on duty and prepare to leave. Now, if you pull in that same place and they said, oh no, we don't unload you, here's a pallet jack, you got to unload yourself, then you're technically on duty that whole time you're unloading. And while you're on duty unloading, you can go past that 14-hour of your full day clock, and you can go past it indefinitely, but you can't drive again until you've taken a 10-hour break. It's a crazy little loophole that they do. It can be confusing. I know it inside and out because 21 years, I pretty much know it by heart. And the downside is that they've changed it a little bit throughout the years, but not enough to make a difference, in my opinion. The one thing they've enforced us to do is run what they call an ELD, which is electronic logging device. that electronic logging device is tied into the computer of your truck. So if you take off out of a parking lot, it automatically puts you in driving mode. Um, and there's rules behind how that works, but if it forces you to really follow a clock, um, and it's created a lot of unsafe driving out there. So if you wondered why semi trucks are driving faster nowadays and they're speeding a lot more, it's because of that ELD. They're trying to speed and hurry up and get through, say, Nashville, for example, before rush hour, or something like that. They're using the cities that make you slow down, like Nashville, for example. The state of Tennessee, for the most of it, cars and trucks can both drive 70 mile an hour, but when you get to Nashville, it's 55 through town. Um, when I first started driving 21 years ago, actually, um, most people stayed at that 55 to 60 mile an hour, just like the rest of the cars did. Now, trucks will run as fast as their truck will go through town, 65, 70 mile an hour. They don't care because now they have an ELD that tells them when they can and can't drive. And it's not exactly forcing them to drive faster, but it's encouraging them to drive faster. So the U.S. government thinks that the ELDs is making the roads safer, and I believe that they're not making the roads safer. I think they're more dangerous. Um, they got up a couple of years ago on some podcast, no, not exactly a podcast, but like some type of statistic thing, and try to say, oh, the ELD is doing so much for us. It's making so many things so much better. There's so many less logbook violations. Well, yeah, there's less logbook violations because you can't lie, because a controlled device is doing it. But they failed to mention that other organizations pointed out was that the ELD has caused more accidents and fatalities since it was released than there used to be. So you tell me which is safer. A guy driving a couple hours over his books, and receiving a ticket, or the guy that's causing an accident because he's driving 70 mile an hour in a 45 zone. I mean, I'm not, a no brainer on that if you ask me. So I'm very against the ELDs. I just don't believe in them. I don't believe that they're safe. Um, they're actually they're trying to push another piece of technology on us that they think is safer, and I do disagree with them. And it's called an automatic braking system. And the idea behind an automatic braking system, if there was a car in this ramp, it would stop me dead in my tracks. It would just stop me like this, and I'd be done. And hopefully not get into a collision with that vehicle. Well, the downside is that when you're driving and you go around a curve, if it sees something in that curve, and for example, this guardrail right here in front of me, as I'm fixing to make this curve, it would detect that as a object that I might hit and make you stop in the middle of the road, you know, because it gets confused. Well, that's okay on a dry day like today, but take a day where it's raining or, God forbid, it's snowing and icy outside. There's already been multitude of people that has gotten into serious collisions on an empty road because of that automatic braking thing, getting confused by dots on the road, the lines on the highway, guardrails, concrete barriers, stupid things. So, you know, I'm not fully against having that system on our trucks. It needs to be fixed before it can be done. That's my opinion of it. So that's just my little rant on that. And that's going to be the last thing we're going to discuss today because we are just around the corner. What are you doing? You're going the same place too, man? Oh, okay. Come on. And I apologize, this video today has not been the greatest of my videos. I know my videos aren't perfect. I get on here, I like to have a little bit of fun and play around. Okay, great. I can bypass way station. Where am I going? Give me my camera. There we go. But I like to get on here. I like to have fun. I like to talk to you guys, and me passing on some of my knowledge. I'm kind of enjoying. I'm actually contemplating on getting out of trucking, but not 100%. I ran across a deal recently where I could possibly get a job being a CDL instructor, and I'm thinking about doing that and passing my knowledge on to new people. So this is kind of giving me more of the ideas of doing that kind of thing. And mostly I just get on here and I enjoy playing and having fun and sharing some stories with you guys. Maybe you'll learn something. I don't know. Let's see. Safe is there. You know, we're going to go for that. We're going to go park this for them. I don't do that very often for you guys. I usually cheat and hurry up and park it. Video is a little longer than I anticipated anyways because of some of the technical issues I had in the beginning. Let's go over here and we're going to park this bad boy. I did not do good lining up that time. Hold on. Sometimes you have to do it in 2 tries. We're a little tight on the left side, but I think we'll be okay as far as getting the marker. Okay, I like it. Delivered. All right, guys, there we go. So we got that all delivered up and everything. I appreciate you guys riding along with me. We'll take a quick look at our numbers here. So made 54,000 some change, got 1,400 and change in XP. Not that it matters. And yeah, so it was a good run. No collisions, even though as wacky as the controller's getting. I apologize for the video not being very great and some of the technical difficulties. It happens. I bought a new controller, so it is what it is. But anyhow, guys, I appreciate you riding along, and hope you come back for some more. And I'll catch you later. I'll see you.